Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Marvel Knights Mindless One Build-A-Figure, the Build-A-Figure video itself. Here we have the Mindless One, so we're going to put this bad boy together and talk about the figure. So here we go. We're going to get right into it. So the Marvel Knights wave, remember guys, this is a fan channel, Amazon exclusive wave, so no big box retail. So local comic shops, GameStops, online channels, Amazon. That's where you're going to be able to pick this wave. So don't wait until you see it in store unless you shop at GameStop a lot or your local comic shop. So we can do that. We're going to start with the torso piece. It does have two pieces. You have the back piece, which is separate there, and you're just going to clamp them together like so. Easy peasy there. Let's grab a leg. We're going to get this leg. This is the right leg because it has an R on it. So we're going to pop that on there. Oh, I kind of like, usually it's just a clean line where the thigh meets the hip, but you can see there is a little bit of a lip there to kind of hide it a little bit, so that is cool. Look at the left leg, we're going to stick that on there. It did not want to stay. Let's get on there. Let's see, so get that. Okay, so looking pretty good. Let's get the arms in there. Here we got a left arm. Goes in there like so. Get the right arm like so, or not. Port that arm in there. There we go. There we go. Mindless One looking pretty good. And then we'll do the head last. And I'll take this red smoke effect thing out. We got the ball joint on there that does not move. So the ball joint is only going to move around slightly because this thing offers no movement. So pop that on there or not. Okay, bam. Here we have the Mindless One put together, and he looks pretty good. Not as tall as I thought he was going to be. I mean, he's obviously taller than the other figures, but he's not like crazy tall or anything like that. But he does look pretty good to kind of finish off the look here. We're going to add that little piece in there, and bam, we got our Mindless One Build-A-Figure. Not bad, not huge, but you know, still a pretty good size. So let's go ahead and get in for a closer look. Okay, so I'm a little up high, so we want to look at the head. It's because I wanted to show this smoke effect. Now, one of the odd things about this effect piece is it's red in color, and we're not really sure why it's red in color, because even like the figure itself, the promo image, it shows it as more of a smoke or clear, translucent color, but they stuck with the red. And you look up images, and you can find some where there would be kind of like a red smoke that's kind of out there. But I think most of the time when you look up images, it's going to be more of a smoke color. So the red is a bit odd. Now, what I think is going to happen is we will get a Mindless One single release, a deluxe release or something, maybe in a box set, I don't really know. But Dwight did tease something about how, hey, a Mindless One, that's an army builder. People aren't going to buy multiple waves just to get the Mindless One. Yes, you could buy them by the Build-A-Figure itself, you know, on eBay or whatever. If that's one route you want to go, you tend to be paying more that way. So I think they are going to do some kind of release for the Mindless One, maybe when a Doctor Strange sequel comes out. That's something that we will see, and maybe this piece will be a different color. It's a bit odd. The execution of it, though, is pretty damn awesome. So I will, let me see, get in closer so you can see how it clips in to into the eye hole slit, whatever, and it only clips in kinds of towards the upper half, so you can actually still see kind of the eye to the Mindless One. So it is a really cool effect. From the opposite side, though, you can see the hollowness of it, and that's to keep it from being too heavy and start to droop down. It is a fairly hard plastic, so but it holds up. It holds up pretty well. So now we're going to take a closer look at the Mindless One Build-A-Figure as I move my camera a little bit closer. Sorry for the shakiness there. But we want to look at the details of the sculpt work, which is really nice because this thing just has all kinds of cracks and crevices and things going on. Extremely minimal paint, though. So you can see some of the shading that they add in here, and it's all just in the front. Like the back of the figure doesn't have any shading whatsoever. As you can see, it is just all in this gray color and just looks like a big pile of droopy shit. But on the front, we get a little bit of brownish, like bronze color in here, like in the torso. Here, kind of in the hip, On the shoulders, you get a little bit, and then the bicep, forearm, you get a little bit as well, and then the hand, you get very little there too. The legs, very little on the thighs, the shins. It doesn't look like you actually get any on the feet though, so very, very, very minimal paint. It's a very dark gray. You look up images, there's a lot of dark gray, there's some light gray. My first exposure to them, it probably would have been either the Doctor Strange movie. It was just more of an Easter egg where at the end Caecilius and his zealots kind of get transformed into Mindless Ones, it looks like. And then in one of the Marvel Avengers Lego games, they were like a light gray color. So a little bit of a difference, but we got dark gray here, and it looks really good. Again, all kinds of cracks and crevices kind of throughout the skin tone. You're going to have this rocky texture to it, which looks really good. We got single jointed elbows and single jointed knees, so they actually look pretty good. How they function, we'll take a look at that in the articulation, but it's a crazy amount of sculpt work throughout the entirety of the figure, which is good. The head is not really gonna... Oh, yeah, well, look at that. The ball joint does allow for some pivot and some things going on in there. You have to work it, but you can do some things. So, it's fun. It's actually pretty fun to move around. It's not super tall. I looked it up. The Mindless Ones were about 7 feet tall, so this should be kind of in line with what it should be. Maybe they end up being a little bit bigger because there they are compared to like Luke Cage. But I think it is a good Build-A-Figure. It's nice to see the Build-A-Figure pieces back in window boxes, which I am happy with. So I'm really liking it so far. Let's go ahead and zoom out and take a look at its articulation now, though. But just, another final look at the sculpt, because, man, the sculpt is crazy. They even did it a little bit in the hinges of, like, the back of the knee. Really nicely done. Really, really nicely done. Okay, articulation time. Okay, so you saw me kind of move the head around. You can swivel it around, and you do get some good pivot in there. But the way it's kind of recessed down in there, you have to use your fingers. You can't just really... You kind of can grip it, but then to do the pivot, you got to like force it with your thumb and a finger kind of thing. But you can get some movement in there, which is pretty good. Because again, it's just on a ball joint, so there's no hinge whatsoever. So you have to work it the best that you can. But anyway, the shoulder, you can get the arm to go straight on out, which is good. You get an upper bicep swivel in there. You have a bicep swivel. Did I say up shoulder swivel, bicep swivel? I think I'm losing my mind. And then you also get a swivel at the elbow and a single jointed elbow. So it gives you just under 90 degrees there at the bend. It's a very thick arm. I think it moves around actually fairly well, as you can see there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on the open hands, as well as the fists. And I keep forgetting we have fists to go along with this. So extra hands, which are great when you want to do like army building and you have like your different options to display, or for photography you also have the different options. So fist hands and open hands. They have 3 fingers and a thumb. There we have a diaphragm cut on this guy, so he could tilt to his left. Make sure we get it all the way. He could tilt to his left that much, which is pretty good. Tilt to his right that much there, which is pretty good. He can go back a little bit there. It looks a little bit ugly as it kind of goes a little bit flatter. There's still some sculpted cracks and layers in there, but it's not as good as you can see. Coming forward is a little bit, so that's probably more than most female figures actually get coming forward. So that is pretty good. And then you got a swivel at that diaphragm there as well, and that looks pretty good. Legs go out that far apart. That is actually a crazy amount right there. He can kick forward that far, not too bad. Leg goes back ever so slightly, and then a thigh cut where the thigh connects. Single jointed knee gives us very little bend there, unfortunately. You do have a swivel at that knee as well, since it's single jointed. You have a foot. Let's see, the foot hinges down a fair amount, up a fair amount, and then a really good ankle pivot. Holy moly, look at that. And then pickles at the bottom of the feet. And then check out the feet. We got some cracks and crevices and stuff that are actually sculpted in there as well. So check that out. So yeah, there is the Mindless One's Build-A-Figure articulation. Pretty good for a large character. I would say this diaphragm cut works better than the hand ninja, the fist ninja, that's for damn sure. And most female figures. So hey, win's a win. Okay, so for some side-by-side comparisons here, we have some Dark Dimension goodness, where we have our Build-A-Figures, Mindless One, and the Dormammu Build-A-Figure from a few years ago when the first Doctor Strange movie came out. So there we go. And I just assumed, and this is, you know, silly me not having the full comics background of everything, I just assumed the Mindless Ones worked for Dormammu. It sounds like that is not actually the case, and that the Mindless Ones seem to be a big nuisance to Dormammu and the Dark Dimension. So that is something that I did not know. And continuing on with some additional side-by-side comparisons, here we have the classic Dormammu figure. So we have more of the standard 6-inch scale, or around 6-inch Marvel Legends figure. So we got the Dormammu there. So we'll put him off to the side. We'll get the Mindless One in there. Niece Clea to Dormammu there. And then Doctor Strange, bam, there on the side-by-side comparison. Okay, so here we have the whole wave together, so I'm going to go ahead and go over the ranking, or of how I would rank the wave. And this is kind of a tough one, because there's some good things about the wave. I like the designs and things like that. The execution of the figures are kind of the thing that's like, right? But if I had to rank the wave, I'm really liking Clea. I'm really liking Lady Bullseye. Blade, I'm liking. Daredevil, I'm liking. The Fist Ninja, I kind of like. Luke Cage, I kind of like. Iron Man, I don't really care for. But the wave is tricky. Like, this is one of those things. If I look at execution of figures, you know, which one's going to be at the top of the list? Probably none of them. Maybe Lady Bullseye, actually, would be at the top. Or Blade, of course, but it's just kind of one of those tricky things. So if I truly had to rank the wave on like which ones I like most, just based off of overall aesthetic and things like that, I'm probably gonna go Blade number 1, Daredevil number 2, Clea number 3, Lady Bullseye number 4, Fist Ninja number 5, Luke Cage number 6, Iron Man number 7, and then Mindless One I don't rank. He's probably the best executed figure of them all, to be honest with you. He should probably be the number 1. But this is, I think, how I would rank the wave. That Daredevil, the knees kind of piss me off and bother me, but I really do like the look. So it's just kind of one of those things where I have to outweigh, you know, my like of the overall versus, you know, how well executed the figure was. So this is how I would rank. You guys let me know down in the comments below. How would you rank this wave? Okay, so posing this thing around is actually a whole lot of fun because it moves around so nicely. It's not loose in any way, but you can just kind of freely move this guy around, and it isn't like a hassle really trying to get him to balance, even though he's a little bit larger, because I mean these legs are thick, these arms are thick, but yeah, it's just a whole lot of fun to just actually move around. And I'm really digging it. I think this is one that's going to be a lot of fun. I also think it presents more of the challenges that Build-A-Figures come with, because, you know, when you have a wave that isn't as themed throughout, it gets tricky because people are like, well, do I really want this one? Do I want to get that one? I don't know if I do. And then this is one of the better Build-A-Figures that we've gotten in a while, I would say. So it's kind of one of those things. I see a lot of people that want a couple from the wave but don't want them all, but really want the Mindless One Build-A-Figure. And I think that goes back to what Dwight seemed to have teased, that they may release a Mindless One on its own or in another way. So I could see them doing it, whether it's some kind of box set or multi-pack, maybe a 2-pack or something, or just a single deluxe release. I don't know how well it could sell on its own, but an army builder figure has the potential to sell well on its own, even if it's something like the Mindless One. But this thing is actually really, really good. It's so much better than I would have thought. And a little trick here, I recorded the ranking portion early on, which I don't normally do. But man, this thing would absolutely be at the top of the list in terms of, you know, playability, fun, articulation, sculpt, design, like all of it. It checks every single box, and it's just an insane amount of fun. We get this really cool effect piece, which is awesome. Like, you can just, your different display options are just crazy. We get swappable hands, which a lot of Build-A-Figures don't have swappable hands like this. There have been a lot that have, yes, most don't. So we have it here. So it's just all around fun, and it just brings back to a lot of the fun factor that Marvel Legends used to have for a lot of folks. Still has for me, not as much, I will admit. But this one just really brings back a lot of the good of what Marvel Legends can do. And I'm just really, really happy about this one. I hope you guys would like it if it's something that you want to add to your collection. But if you have it already, you guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on it. Because, man, this thing, again, just a ton of fun. And just looks really good. So I am really happy with this Build-A-Figure. I'm glad we got it. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if you're picking up the wave, which ones you're picking up, how you ranked it, all of that stuff. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you're interested in helping support the channel, hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU collective. And as always, thank you for watching.